Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. I hope you've had a good break, festive season, and that the new year is treating you well so far. So this is going to be a check-in for you for Capricorn season. Just a quick check-in to see what the energies are, any messages of guidance and advice from Spirit. Okay. Spirit, please come into this reading, bless this reading, make this your message and your message only. For the sign of Taurus, collective energy, what messages of guidance do they need to know? All negative energy must leave my space now. My field is sovereign. Any entities, implants, energies, signals, frequencies that are not in alignment with my source must leave now. All non-consensual access is now purged and sealed. I just saw the Minotaur, Taurus. I just felt Minotaur energy, and that is the ultimate, in mythology, the evolution of Taurus is bull to Minotaur, which is a very powerful beast. And what I'm feeling from that image, Taurus, is that this year, or at least this season, is very much about taming the beast. Taming the beast within. You might be feeling a lot of unexpressed anger coming through right now. Any repression of, your communication, because my throat is also closing up. And funny enough, Taurus, our the area of the body associated with Taurus is the throat. So you might be feeling some unexpressed emotion from, past situations that are surfacing for you right now. Just allow them to flow through and not reject them, because the more you push it down, it's just going to keep coming up again. I feel like this is a final purge or release into a very momentous year, a year with a lot of momentum, Taurus. So allow the release. Tears are healing water. Tears are healing water. Sweat, any salt water, the ocean, sweat, tears, is healing. You might need to also spend time near some water, Taurus, or cold bath immersions, cold showers is what I'm also getting, that there's a bit of an excess heat in the body. This could also be from stored anger or stored emotion. You could also look at eating cooling foods like cucumber, mint, legumes, just to calm down the heat in the body. If you've been feeling a burning sensation, or if you've been feeling like you are overheating or sweating a lot, more than usual, you can also just look up a list of the foods that cause heat in the body, which is mainly spicy foods, coffee, alcohol, obviously, anything that can cause excess heat in the body. Okay, Taurus, let's see what is going on for Capricorn season. Why do I get a sense that some of you are also feeling exhausted, even though it's the beginning of the year? It's like a sense of responsibility that's making you feel a little bit drained or exhausted and leaking your energy. Maybe just look at where, your energy is going, and whether that's something you can sustain, and whether that situation actually is deserving of your energy. Just to, do an energy audit and see if you are feeling drained. An energy audit would help just to see where you can let go of some of the things that may be draining your energy. Okay, that could be for some of you. So take the message as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, don't make it fit, Taurus. Okay, for the sign of Taurus, please and thank you. Messages of guidance only, jumpers, please, and thank you. King of Swords, card of Aquarius, healing. There's some conversation or communication that needs to happen here, Taurus, but I think you're taking a period of healing before you engage with this person or people. But there is an honest conversation that you're wanting to be having. And, it could be a situation where there's been separation or silence, and you've been healing from that. You've been healing from that situation. And now we have the Strength card, card of Leo, Major Arcana, which is about taming the beast. This is a card of taming the beast, and it is a card of controlling the rage within, or not controlling it, but managing it in a healthy way, because there's nothing wrong with anger. There's something called sacred rage, and it comes up for a reason. Anger can either destroy or it can create and motivate. It depends how you channel that energy. So it's good not to label any emotion that is coming up as a bad emotion. It is just showing you where you still need to be releasing, where you still need to be processing. I feel like with this situation, there is some clearing or accountability or truth that needs to come out here. It could be career, it could be friendship, it could be family, it could be romance. But there's a conversation that needs to happen, in a very mature conversation, a fact-based conversation, not an emotionally based conversation. But both parties have to be ready to show up with honesty and with accountability if there is going to be healing and balance in the situation. I do feel like either you or this person is needing a lot of strength to come forward, though. So I do still sense that there is a lull or a pause or a silence right now, but it's a very purposeful silence. There could have been a lot of emotional overwhelm in the situation, and the communication was not clear, or the communication, there were misunderstandings maybe. And this could be something that you or the other person fears the most, is being misunderstood. And for some reason, when you communicate in this situation, there can be many misunderstandings. So there is, if there is to be closure, and I do feel like there is some karmic balancing coming in here. But if that is to happen, then it is going to take a lot of strength, because I am sensing some pride and some shame about whatever the situation is, especially pride. And that is the card of Leo. And that's also about taming the beast within, Taurus. It is a sense of taming the ego, or assessing whether the decisions you are making and the conversations you are having are coming from pride and wanting to be seen or wanting to be heard, or is it coming from a place of kindness and compassion? And I say that because I have been connecting with the Ascended Master Jesus quite a bit lately, and it has brought in a sense of peace to, the situations I've been dealing with, a sense of peace, a sense of compassion, a sense of looking at the situation from a different perspective and not trying to, or even not even examining the situation, but just a sense of peace and a sense of compassion for everyone around me. And this may be also what you are feeling right now, Taurus. And that is also the taming of the beast energy. It is about taking a step back before acting. And maybe that does mean, pulling your energy back a little in order to purposefully observe and heal the situation. But there's definitely a conversation that is coming through here, I feel. The moon. So the moon is a card of Cancer, another major arcana. But it is about unspoken words. It is about everything that is hidden, the subconscious as well. I feel like what has happened here is, there's been a subconscious overrule sometimes in the situation where you're not able to manage the emotion that is coming up when something is triggered. And so, words can be said that you might not necessarily think about, but it's being driven from an emotional point of view. It's like an amygdala hijacking sometimes that can happen in this situation, the specific situation. But that is what is being healed at the moment. And I think in the last 3 weeks, Taurus, a lot of your subconscious patterning has been coming through. A lot of the hypnotic, post-hypnotic suggestions, which is basically what you are telling yourself about your worthiness, about your place in the world, about your gifts, about your confidence, about your wealth, about what you are deserving of. A lot of those subconscious patterns have been coming up for you. And I feel like there's a lot of work that you have been doing on breaking this generational pattern of belief about worth, about wealth, about spending money, about stability, about material things. It could be a belief, especially on the matriarch side. I'm feeling the matriarch side of hoarding or having a scarcity mentality that some of you have been working through, because those programs run very deep and it becomes our subconscious patterning. So there's a sense of scarcity that you are working through, Taurus, I feel here. And that is also what could be triggering the pause in the reconciliation of the situation that has been silent for you, if that resonates for anyone. It's also managing the masculine and the feminine, because Leo is the sun, and that is the masculine energy, and the moon is the feminine energy. So it is about integrating and balancing masculine and feminine energy within, so that the psyche is able to make decisions, to have conversations, to have communication that is balanced and not one-sided, not driven just by masculine energy and also not just driven by feminine energy, because that can create an imbalance. So it's almost as if your higher self has been working with both of these energies within you to create a balance in how these are expressed in your world, Taurus, and especially learning how to be more in the feminine energy of being soft and receiving and not always charging, not always charging. Standing in your sovereignty as well. So whatever the situation is, maybe in the past you would have compromised your own beliefs, your own values, or your energy, and leaked your energy to fix a situation or to repair a situation, or to overextend yourself in order to be seen or to please other people. And that is being balanced right now, I feel, for you, Taurus. Is as you are planning your year, you are being very aware of what is going to work for you and what is going to keep your energy sovereign, what is going to keep you in alignment, and what is going to keep you balanced without giving too much of your energy. And so you may be finding, Taurus, that you are very discerning right now about the things that you are deciding to do, whether it's career choices, social events, deciding whether to go to certain social situations, conversations, even as simple as WhatsApp conversations. You're not responding immediately like you used to. You're first doing an energy check-in and an energy audit and seeing, am I in the space right now to initiate a conversation or to have this conversation or to respond to this person. So you're being very aware of your energy leaks, which is a really good thing. And this is the card of sovereignty. It's a card of independence. It's a card of being comfortable in your own energy, and also not chasing wealth, not chasing love, not chasing anything outside of you. This is the card where you find everything that you need inside of you, so that no matter what is happening in the external world, it doesn't affect your emotional balance. It doesn't affect your sense of self-worth. And that is where all of us want to actually be, is in a situation where, regardless of what is happening on the outside, because things in the external world can change at a whim. There's a lot of uncertainty, whether it's a business that you're trying to get off the ground, whether it's a relationship. People change, situations change, things change outside of us that we have absolutely no control over. The only control we have is our own inner peace, our own inner sense of self. And when we are working from that inner sense of worth, that inner sense of self, then there is absolutely nothing outside of that that can interfere with how we show up or how we are feeling and how we move in the world moment to moment. This is one of my favorite cards. It's actually the minor arcana of the Empress card as well. But it's a beautiful card, and something that I am striving towards as well is this sense of inner peace, the sense of defining or believing in my own worth without seeking it from the outside world. And that's not something that is easy to do, Taurus. It's not something that is easy to embody overnight. That takes a lot of time, especially if you've spent a lot of your lifetime in performance energy. And by performance, I mean putting on various masks in order to be accepted, in order to be seen, in order to be loved, in order to be liked, a sense of relevance, which is in a way self-deception. So those masks are falling away. Those masks are falling away. Everything that you believed that you were, you are now questioning. You're not running from it anymore. So, what's happening right now is I feel like you're making, or there's a conscious awareness now when you make a decision or when you say something. There's a conscious awareness of a pattern. It's a conscious awareness of, oh, here's this mask coming up again. Here's this persona coming up again. Oh, am I in performance right now? Why am I posting the status? Why am I taking this selfie? Why am I whatever? I'm giving, silly, simple examples now, but there is a sense of you being very aware of your movement and your action right now. And that is, self-awareness is not an easy thing, because you are constantly auditing, you are constantly evaluating, and observing yourself from the outside. That's what self-awareness actually is. And you can see when you are being manipulative. You can see when you are being a little bit deceptive. You can see when you are seeking outside of yourself for validation. And you are able to, not always, but you are able to take a step back from that. There could also be, some situations that have been deceptive in your space that you are picking up now, Taurus, and that you are now deciding that that is no longer an energy you want to be a part of. Any closing messages for Taurus, please and thank you. It's also about reconciling your childhood, Taurus. Sorry, I've got a bit of an allergy this morning. It's reconciling something about your childhood, patterns in your childhood. And I do feel very strongly that there is a lot of generational trauma release happening for the collective right now, and it's coming up really intensely. There are patterns that we are seeing. There's information that's coming through about our lineage, whether we've investigated consciously or not. It's information that is coming to you, and it's something that you are working on clearing for yourself and for your children, if you have any children. Any closing messages of advice for Taurus, Spirit, please and thank you. Closing messages of advice. Juggling, Two of Pentacles. There could be something you're needing to make a decision about. They're saying to trust Source with this decision, not to make a hasty decision, but to trust your intuition, to trust guidance from Source, to sit with it, be present with the decision, and not rush it or not try to force anything in the situation, Taurus. Major Arcana here, the Hierophant, listening to Source, being available to Source, not rushing anything and not forcing anything, and not putting yourself under pressure to make any decisions right now. Yeah, this is very much about taking a pause, examining your heart space and feeling into the decision, not intellectualizing it, but feeling more into whether this is aligned for you, whether this feels right for you, and trusting your intuition. So leaning into the heart space, leaning into any trapped emotion that is there that could be influencing why you do things the way that you do. Recognizing that emotion and allowing it to be released so that you can clear space in the heart center, in the mind center, in the gut center as well. Because that is when we are able to be clear channels to make the right decisions, for our lives, for the next moment. It is also a card of giving love back to yourself, Taurus, and containing your energy in a very discerning way, being very aware of who you are giving your energy to, and protecting your heart space, protecting your energy field. And it's not about putting walls up. That's very different. That's an avoidant way of protecting yourself. It's about keeping your heart space open, but still being discerning. You know, Maya Angelou always says, have the courage to love one more time and always one more time. So it's about, that whole quote is about keeping your heart space open always, regardless of what has happened in the past. But it is also about believing people when they show you who they are. Another Maya Angelou quote. There's something about the caged bird that I'm now getting for you as well, Taurus. It's about breaking free from how you've entrapped yourself or how you've caged yourself in because of the conditioning, because of how, you know, you were brought up, or religion can be very conditioning. There's a breaking free of that energy is what I'm sensing for you right now. And that is going to create space, because they are showing me a bird cage with the door being opened. And as I said that, I just heard a lovebird. The door being opened and the bird flying through. So it is about breaking free from cages that are self-imposed, but also that have been programmed within us from birth. Anything else for Taurus? Yeah, I do also feel like there is a generational thing here about scarcity, about holding on to things and being fearful of, you know, whether abundance is going to come through, and therefore not taking action. And this is what can block us, Taurus, is this sense of that we need to hold on very tightly to what we have because nothing else is coming. And this is what creates the restriction, the entrapment, and the block. And I feel like, and look how it's blocking her heart space, I feel like this is what you are releasing right now, is for this energy to be released so that your heart space can open up again. So it is more about flow than it is about control. And it's about releasing control, Taurus, in this Capricorn season. We have until Feb 16th to, you know, to do this work in still the wood snake year, the wood snake timing. So it is still gentle, but when we do get to the energy of the horse and the 1 year, which has already begun, the momentum is going to pick up incredibly. It's exponentially, actually, not just exponentially going to pick up. I don't know if you've ever watched Spirit, the movie Spirit. It's that kind of wild horse energy. And so there's not going to be a lot of time to mess around. Yeah. So it's important right now that you are very clear about what it is that needs to be released. And also work with this patterning of control and holding on, if that's something that you are, you know, that you are familiar with and used to. Money is very much about flow, and Taurus, we are about money. We are about wealth, material wealth and abundance. That's our thing, ruled by Venus as well. But it needs to flow in order for it to come back. It needs to move. The more you try to hold on to it, the further it gets away, actually. And you find that it actually starts leaking. You know, when something, they just showed me something escaping. You know, when you hold a dog or a cat too tightly and they wriggle out from under you and manage to find a gap to pull themselves away. That's what money ends up doing if we hold on too tightly. It starts leaking around us. That's just, what I saw. And the more you put it out there, the more it will be coming back to you. And as you do that, Taurus, do it with love and say, whenever you're paying for something, and this is very specific to someone, when you're paying for something, just say, bless you, thank you, go out and come back with your friends. So that whatever you are spending, you're asking it to come back threefold, fourfold, tenfold for that day. You can even work in a day-to-day timeline rather than, plan for the month. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to stop waffling now. I am doing personal readings, so if you would like one, please reach out. My details are in the description box. And sending you so much of love, Bull Gang. Until the next reading.